Hey everyone, welcome back to War Budgies and welcome to Fallout Wasteland Warfare Season 2, finally. It's been a long time coming. Just to recap, Season 1 was kind of our first experiment with doing battle reports. We followed Nora, the sole survivor, and her little band of Dogmeat, Benji, the power armor addict, and Sarah, the potentially maybe synth, we don't know yet. And we kind of followed them throughout their adventures in the Wasteland over a series of just 5 reports between custom scenarios and stuff from the book. Well, we're gonna be doing all of that again for Season 2, but bigger and more. We've got new terrain, we got new table stuff, new custom scenarios, new models painted up, all sorts of new stuff coming at you. So Fallout Season 2 starts today, and it is going to focus on 2 groups. This is gonna be the war in the Wasteland. We're gonna have the Brotherhood of Steel, led by Paladin Cormac, who are gonna be in the area investigating some strange readings that they've picked up, versus the Red Hand Raiders, led by a number of colorful individuals who are out to conduct some nefarious plot involving possibly nuclear material. So we're gonna take those 2 groups, we're gonna do a couple of scenarios each so you can get to know them, and then for the last 5 reports, because we're doing a 10 episode season, for the last 5 reports we're gonna run those 2 groups ahead of each other, and we're gonna see who comes out as the victor and the new ruler of this area in the Wasteland. So thank you very much for your patience in waiting for Season 2. You can expect these episodes for the next 10 weeks, barring any technical difficulties, every Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Time, US Eastern Time. Starting right now, welcome to Fallout Wasteland Warfare Season 2. Of course it's mutants. Freaking hate mutants. Surgeon, give me a line back to the boss. Boss, we found your device, but there's muties squatting all over it. I'm gonna call it off.
Scorpion, your task is clear. Retrieve the device. Add its yield to the altar.
Boss, I'm telling you, there's muties.
Enough! You have the surgeon. Do not return without the device.
All right, taking a look at Team Raider for today. This team is going to be led by a Scorpion, who is going to be a scaver with a heroic card. He's packing a combat rifle and a case of orange mentats to help with his aim. He's being joined by the Surgeon, which is a specialized Mr. Handy that the Red Hand uses to dismantle nuclear devices like the model's doing now. He is a stock Mr. Handy with a robot repair kit and superior materials on his buzzsaw, just to represent that he's a little bit unusual compared to normal. Coming to the other side, we've got the Psycho Twins. They are both packing a dose of fury each. One with a pipe wrench, one with a lead pipe. It's kind of what you see is what you get with those 2. And we're going to round it all off with a stock Raider carrying an assault rifle and a baseball grenade. And that will represent Team Raider for this scenario. And defending their territory here is going to be Team Super Mutant. The heaviest hitter is going to be this brute right here. He's packing a sledgehammer and some buff out. There's going to be 3 identically equipped Super Mutants. I apologize if these aren't the exact same models in the battle report, but I am filming this several months later. They should all be packing Molotov cocktails, a board, and a bolt-action pipe rifle each, just sort of a well-rounded loadout. And they'll be accompanied by 2 Super Mutant Hounds, just stock out of the box. That will be the defending force for today's scenario. And here is our board and scenario for today. The scenario is going to be Big John's Salvage Showdown, one of the official Modiphius scenarios, and it hinges around this object right here, which is an abandoned nuke set right in the center of the board. The Super Mutants have all clustered around it within red distance. We've got our 3 Super Mutants, we've got the Brute over there, a Hound and another Hound. If I can find him. There he is. So they're all within red. They deploy first, the Raiders are allowed to deploy afterwards within yellow of any board edge. So the Psycho Twins are arriving from this corner here. Scorpion and his backup Raider are tucked in behind this helicopter. And right over here, safe behind this tail fin, is the Surgeon, ready to move in and swipe the nuke. For the attackers, they have to get within contact of the nuke, spend an action to pick it up, and then carry it off of any board edge. The Super Mutants have 9 rounds to make sure that doesn't happen. The catch is, if you shoot and hit anyone within orange of the nuke, or anyone carrying the nuke, you roll an armor die, and on a 1, the nuke explodes and everybody loses. But at least it looks cool. Melee combat does not do that. It's going to be 5 raiders to 6 super mutants. So let's move right into raiders turn 1. We're going to start off with Scorpion. He's going to get a VATS roll for being heroic, and he generates 1 AP. At the start of his turn, Scorpion is going to take his orange mentats, giving him a boost to perception and some quick actions. A lot of the mutants are too close to the bomb for a clean shot, so he's going to take 1 action to move yellow. And then we'll shoot at the hound perched up on the helicopter. Hitting on 10s. As clean miss. He'll burn his first quick action to shoot again, hitting on 8s for the quick action. Another miss, but more AP. And by more AP, I mean no AP, because quick actions don't generate AP. Instead, he's going to use the one from his mentats to prepare, and that will close out his turn. Our first super mutant contestant will be this guy over here with the helmet. He's going to turn and glare at Scorpion because stinking humans! We'll take a move action. And then a red charge into Scorpion. Scorpion's having none of this. He will use his prepare action to fire a shot. He will not suffer the -2 penalty because he's being charged. So on 10s. 10 it is. It has 2 damage against 1 armor, and they take 2. Super Mutant is down to 4 health, but he is in contact. He will take a green die for his charge, and that closes him out. Meanwhile, Scorpion's Raider backup figures he's got the situation under control, and he will move yellow. Take a shot with his assault rifle at the brute, who will get cover from the crates. Hitting on 2s with cover. And it's a hit. 2 damage against 2 armor, and the brute takes 2, bringing him down to 6 health. Next up is this super mutant hound here to the south of the bomb. He actually rolled objective on his AI chart, so an incredibly intelligent, well-trained dog. I'm sure that'll work out well for him. So he will move up, get between the objective and the intruders, and we'll take a prepare action. Over in this corner, the Psycho twins are getting bored, so they're going to make their move. Psycho's running a very generous red distance. Move up 1. And he'll come in for 2. And he will pop his Fury, which will give him a bonus to armor and black damage in melee. Our most excellent and well-trained pupper will spend his reaction to charge, relatively short distance, so that some of the others coming in can get an outnumbering bonus. Speaking of which, his pack mate is going to activate next, and he is hangry. It's a very easy charge for him, right around the corner, to engage with the Psycho. Hitting on 6s with a black die for the charge and a green die for now outnumbering the Psycho. Oh, you are such a lucky devil. That's a miss. And Sister Psycho, not one to be left out, is going to move up red around the chopper. And we'll make an easy green charge. Let's see. Right through that gap. And she will also take a dose of Fury of her own. Our deranged super mutant here will take a shot at the backup raider coming around. -2 for cover. He's only hitting on 2s, but his heart's in it. That's what's important. On 2s. Clean miss for 1. And clean miss for 2. Unfortunately, the area around the bomb is still kind of hot, so the surgeon, who ignores difficult terrain, will simply hover over here and try to stay in cover of the aircraft. Wait for his moment. That concludes Team Raider, so Team Super Mutant will finish out by taking the last Super Mutant and running him into a charge against the Psychos. Black die for the charge, green die for outnumbering, and he's hitting on 6s. Good hit, extra damage. So that's 3 damage, but the Psycho Sister is hopped up on Fury, so she has armor 4. And she blocks it all. Finally, the Brute will spend a yellow movement to come around his box barricade, and we'll take a red charge into the backup Raider. Not a position you want to be in. Brute is going to attempt a battle cry, so this is going to be an opposed test between his strength 8 and the Raider's charisma 2. So the Brute gets an 8. Raider can't beat that. So thankfully he doesn't get to attack yet, but his next attack will have a black and a green die added to it. And that concludes turn 1. We got this whole cluster here. The Psychos and the Mutant Hounds have created kind of a stopgap here. Scorpion's tangoing with that Mutant. The Brute's about to clobber the crap out of this Raider. We've got one guy hanging back to guard the bomb, and the Surgeon is creeping around the other side. So we're going to move into turn 2 and see how it works out. Our event card for turn 2 is Damp Air. The moist air keeps the dust down, so any blank greens will count as -1s. Alright, take a look at the positioning on the board. The Psycho Twins are outnumbered, but they can hopefully take some hits with their Fury boosted armor. Scorpion's not in a terrible spot, but the person who is his Raider backup. So I think we're going to start with the Raider backup, trying to jump out of the way and up onto that hill next to him. So the Super Mutant Brute normally hits on 8s. He's at -2 for the quick action, but a +3 for his buff out. So he's hitting on 9s. And he's got a sledgehammer. He's also freakishly strong and got off his battle cry. So this could potentially be a very painful roll. Hitting on 9s with all that dice. Oh, he missed. Holy crap. That would have sucked. All right, he gets a quick action, which he'll use to prepare, but the Raider makes it away. The Raider's going to move orange just to the top of this little hill right here. Just out of sledgehammer range, and he will lob his baseball grenade right at the Super Mutant here, and hopefully the Psycho Twins' extra armor will save them, but if not, there's always more. Hitting on a 5. Oh boy. That's gonna, was that 6? No, 7, so that's gonna scatter orange. We're gonna scatter orange from the point of impact to the Super Mutant's head. Oh boy. We're coming back this way. So our point of impact is right behind the 2 dogs, and it will catch both of them in the blast. Now he did roll an armor break in the initial roll, and they only have armor 1, so both of the hounds will take 2 damage. Not bad considering how that could have gone. Our Mutant Hound on the far right will attack the Psycho. He's going to get a black die for his charge, plus a green die for having a buddy. Hitting on 6s. Good hit. Alright, potential 4 damage here. 4 damage against armor 4. And he takes 3. Brings the Psycho down to 1 health remaining. Dog's going to do it again, because of course he's going to do it again. Still hitting on 6s. 3, nope, he's good. That Psycho's going to activate because he's unlikely to take more than a stiff wind to the face, so he's going to attack the dog that just struck him. He gets a bonus black die for his Fury, and we're hitting on 7s. Good hit, good armor break. That's 2 damage right off the bat. Takes that hound down to 1 health, and he'll try to do it again. Oh, swing and a miss. The other Mutant Hound will go and try to finish him off. Bonus green die for outnumbering, hitting on 6. Oh, just barely, but 2 armor break. Unfortunately, since he activated, his Fury has already worn off of its armor boost, so he goes down. And the Hound will make its next attack against the Psycho Sister. Still outnumbering thanks to the presence of the Super Mutant. 6s. Wow, alright, that is a broken arm. Broken arm and 3 extra damage and a quick action, just for good measure. Good boy. 5 damage against 4 armor because her armor is still in effect. Alright, she does good, only takes 2. That brings her to half health. But she's not going to take that sitting down. After all, her psycho brother just went down. So she's going to swing the lead pipe into that center hound. Hitting on 5s. Good hit with a stun. 2 damage against armor 1. Takes 2 damage. That's a mess of tokens there. The hound will use its reaction to clear the stun because that's about all it can do right now. She'll get a second shot. Hitting on 5s. Sadly a miss. She's going to have to face him down another turn. The other super mutant will hold off for a moment because she's not going to be retaliating. And we'll move down to the melee with Scorpion. Got a green token still from the charge, so we'll see what this guy can do. Hitting on 6s. Yeah, it's a good hit, bonus damage. 3 damage against Scorpion's armor 2. He blocks 1 of them. Scorpion's going to spend 1 of his luck tokens to try to reduce the damage by 1, so on a Shamrock he only takes 1 damage. Yep, no, we're out of luck, up the creek, so forth. That brings Scorpion down to 4 health and 2 luck remaining. Super Mutant swings again on 6s. And it's a miss. His orange Mentats are still in good shape, so Scorpion is going to try to shoot this guy point blank. First is Vats roll. He does not get any AP. His orange Mentats have degraded to give him a +2 now, which is -2 for shooting in close combat, so he will be hitting on 7s. 7's good with an armor break. The mutant only has 1 armor, so he takes 2, and Scorpion will try to dial in for the last shot. On 7s. There it is, extra damage. 3 damage against 1 armor with 2 health left. Math numbers. Super Mutant is out. And that is the 3rd hit from Scorpion's rifle, so he has a charged crit now. The bird's going to get very upset. Stand still, human! And is going to follow him up with a charge. We're going to wobbly model him to the top there. And he's going to attempt a battle cry again. Brute has a battle cry of 8. That's really good. Raider has a battle cry resist of 2, so if he rolls a 2, he's okay. He does not roll a 2. He's not good with numbers, that guy. Super Mutant coming in for his swing with a ton of dice on 9s. That is exceptionally ouch. That is 3 extra damage, 5 damage, 2 armor break, and our little buddy doesn't have anywhere close to that much. 4 health, 2 armor. He's out. The Surgeon unfortunately can't wait much longer, so he's going to make a green charge over difficult terrain, which he doesn't care about, into this guy. We are way too close to the bomb for him to be using his flamer. Surgeon's tools have superior materials, so he will be hitting on 7s. And just a little shy. But he did succeed in getting the big guy's attention, who will immediately start swinging a piece of wood at the floating robot. Hitting on 6s. Miss on 1. And miss on 2. Wow. You guys suck. Our last model to close this out is going to be this Super Mutant here, swinging his board at the Psycho Sister to try to finish her off. Hitting on 6s, green die for outnumbering. Oh, there's a hit, bonus damage, and armor break. Unfortunately, that brings her armor to 1 against 3 damage. 2 health left, she's out. And that concludes turn 2. What absolute freaking carnage. The Brute is way off course, but he's dispatched the backup raider. The Psycho Twins finally went down after dealing an exceptional amount of damage to those hounds. Scorpion is safe and sound with a charged crit, but now he's staring down these 3. And finally, the Surgeon and the last mutant are tangling here about the bomb. So let's move into turn 3. Our event for turn 3 is a static build-up, so all computer skills are at -2. You know, it doesn't mean much for this scenario, but having a lot of static in the air around that bomb probably making some people nervous. Alright, Scorpion sees 3 problems staring him down right now, so he's going to have to start off dealing with them. His VATS roll, still nothing. Alright, his first action, he's going to draw down on the far right mutant hound, kind of gambling on getting a quick action to use his crit with. His mentats have degraded, so he's at perception 8. Good hit. And at 2 damage against 1 armor, the first hound goes down. He'll fire a regular shot at the next hound and save his crit for the super mutant. Hitting on 8s. Another good hit. And the second hound goes down. So our first AI select is going to be the Brute, who suddenly realizes, that bomb! And he's going to scamper down difficult terrain, so orange to get to the bottom. And then give himself a nice long green charge into the surgeon. Yeah, he's there. He can't use his battle cry because Mr. Handies are immune to battle cry, so he will have to settle for adding a black die. Now the surgeon really doesn't want to deal with any of that, so he's going to hover yellow around to the other side of the bomb, which will draw free attacks from both of them. Super Mutant hitting on 4s with a green die for outnumbering. Miss. And the Brute hitting on 7s. That's a hit with 2 extra damage and 3 armor break. Punches right through and deals Mr. Handy, the surgeon, 4 damage. But safely now in base contact, the surgeon will pick up the nuke and will use his 1 robot repair kit to boost himself back to full health. The super mutant staring down Scorpion will charge red into him and try to knock this stupid human into that fence. Taking a green die for the charge and hitting on 6s. Good hit, armor break, and bonus damage. But since he just barely made his shot, Scorpion will try to use a luck token on a Shamrock. The skill test will take a -2 and it will miss. Man, you just can't catch a break today, buddy. 3 damage against 1 armor. 3 damage it is. Scorpion goes down to 1 with 1 token remaining. Finally, this last super mutant will jump a charge into the surgeon. He'll take a green die for his charge and take a swing. Hitting on 6. Good hit. 2 damage against 3 armor. And 1 point goes through. So at the end of turn 3, the Raiders are in an interesting spot. The surgeon has the nuke and is not terribly far from the edge of the board, but the Brute and the other super mutant are hot on his tail. Meanwhile, Scorpion, loaded crit, but he's got 1 health and is staring down a super mutant of his own. So the big question is, can the Raiders pull it off in turn 4? Our event card for turn 4 is a Predator's Roar, warning of a nearby Death Claw. It's probably Nibbles. Alright, with Mr. Handy at least at a decent amount of health, Scorpion's going to try to get this guy off him. VATS roll. There we go, there's a free action. Scorpion's going to attempt to blow this guy away in close combat. He immediately hits, dealing 2 damage, or with 2 damage, plus 2, 3, 4, 5 damage and an armor break. He'll try to follow that up with a second shot just to finish the guy off. Hitting on 8s. There's a hit, there's a damage. And with 6 health, Muty is gone. And with his last actual action, he will move up. Yellow. The Brute, fairly predictably, goes for the charge on the surgeon, and he will get his 1, we'll say black die for this round. But first, his buff out has worn out, so we need to see if he falls to addiction. He does not. Rolling a bunch of dice, including the black die for the charge and the green die for outnumbering, he is hitting on 8s. Ooh boy. +2 damage, -2 armor. That is 4 damage against 1 armor. Well, he saves 1. Takes 3. Alright, so here is the big gamble. The surgeon is going to try to move away from these two into contact with Scorpion and use his second action to hand off the nuke. The brute gets a free shot, it's hitting on 6s. Oh, there's a hit. And at 3 armor break, the surgeon goes down, and the brute will be able to pick up the nuke. Finally, the super mutant will take a couple of shots at Scorpion, try to drop him from range. Hitting on 4s. Solid miss. And another miss. So moving into turn 5, the only ones left, we've got 2 super mutants in pretty good health, and Scorpion the Raider leader, who's looking at the desiccated remains of his force. And he's got a tough decision to make. Our event for turn 5 is Diamond City Radio, which probably explains why his VATS wasn't working earlier. It was picking up the signal. Alright, now Scorpion's a serious Raider boss, and he doesn't like the fact that he's kind of outmatched here. He's starting to think the super mutants might have got the better of him, so he's going to crank off a shot at the brute holding the nuke. VATS roll first. No VATS. Now his orange mentats last him 1 turn longer because he is a Raider, so he is still at Perception 8. Hit with a crit and a bonus damage, but first we have to find out if this hit the mutant or if it hit the nuke. On a 1 on the armor roll, it hit the nuke. There it is. So in one vengeful shot, the whole screen goes white, a massive plume erupts over the wasteland, and this scenario ends in a draw.
Guardian 1, this is Guardian 2. Paladin core map, we've got a major explosion off to the north. Looks nuclear. I copy Guardian 2. Follow behind us, we're going to check it out.